All right, let's watch Midas versus Seto. This is for weekly open number 23, say. It's the semifinals. Winner will be paired against Piggyman, I believe, who has already successfully and accidentally trolled Seto in the chat. These are two players with a whole bunch of history. They're both prominent Brotherhood of Seed members. Midas is the current leader of the clan, but also there are 5 pairs of players that have ever met twice in a finals. Much to all our surprise, none of those pairs include Delial. Despite having, won every single finals he has ever played and reached a whole bunch of finals and won a 3-way finals, he's never had repeat opponents in the finals. And the only repeat opponent Seto has had is Midas. Now, we might not count this one. I believe they met in the finals of, I want to say, Ward, and then Nephilim. Now, we might not count Nephilim because, neither of them ended up winning that tournament. But they're one of only 5 pairs to ever meet in the finals multiple times. Seto won those times. We might say, advantage Seto, though we'd expect to say advantage Seto. But I think just as interestingly, Midas is the only player I have on record in the return beating Seto in multiple games that I have the move orders to. I have 2 wins of Seto versus Midas versus Seto. Now I have wins of Seto versus Midas as well. This is not one-way traffic, but it is to say I think he's been one of the most dangerous players to Seto and deserves a lot of credit to that. Obviously, Midas is a tremendous player, and I've probably babbled enough about how good Seto is in my prior videos. The first 4 games, I suspect, were really well played. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet. This is the 5th game, I believe, of their match, which I think the record in these is maybe 7 ties. So we'll see if they can start pushing the record. I'm excited to go back and look at those games at some point because, these are 2 interesting and very strong players. Hard to not be excited to watch these 2 and see games of theirs, especially evenly matched ones. I think some people are excited to see wins, and I'm sure they played tons of moves that gave the opponent the opportunity to lose, and I don't need to actually have seen that losing move to be excited. I like seeing them find ways to save it and the match being extended. Here, Midas had a bunch of 9-9 corners. It looked like they were pretty well covered by Seto's hand. Though, actually, how did he cover 9-1-3-9 in 9? I assume there was a big setup, but I don't see it. What am I blanking on? Because to set up for 8, 7, 9, 4, 5. So it needs to be a double setup because he has neither square covered initially. So to set up for 8 would need a 7 down for 7, 9, 4, 5. Doesn't have it. 9, 2, 8, 6 would need a 2 down. Doesn't have it. 7, 8, 5, 6 would need a 10. Can't have it. 3, 4, 9, 9, a 10. Can't have it. 4, 2, 9, 9, a 7. Can't have it. So maybe the hand is just so left-directed that Midas wanted to direct the game. Here he has a recapture in 4, and it is, of course, difficult for Midas to set up to ever take in 4. 4 is a good square for Midas and a bad for Seto. My instinct would have been like a simpleton, 9, 1, 3, 9, and 9, and just say, you can't set up against this. It helps give me coverage. If you're 9-9 corners in 3, you have 2 for 3. I will now have both of them covered from below as well as from the side. Now, maybe all you need is from the side. Like if Seto plays a 9-9 in 3, Midas can take from 2 and there's no recapture in 6. But I would have played the simpleton move here. It doesn't mean it's better, but I do like safety. And I understand wanting to directionally lead the game left here. But Seto's hand also kind of wants to see the game go left. But interesting to use a card with potential semi-untouchable safety in a way that doesn't go for that safety. Like, there's the classic example I always go to of a game where I was watching Deli, where he has, it was a low-level game. So he has like a 5/5 corner that's just super safe to the opponent's hand. And I'm thinking, if he's going to play it, there's no setup against it. There's never anything. It dominates everything. And Delhi just throws a weak card in the opposite corner from that, just saying, I don't want the safety now. That card's going to be safe whenever I play it. I'd rather it, be safe while capturing stuff, while doing more useful things. And I'm just going to organize the game such that it is even more powerful. And I think that was a very strong move, a very precise move. Now, 9139 here was safe in 9. Using it a different square is both not using it in that valuable square, but it is also getting it out of your hand. And it seems like a card I would want to keep in my hand. Like, if I wasn't going to use it as a starter, maybe something weak in 1 would make sense to direct the game so it would be even more powerful. Because, though I guess it's not really a sweeper, right? Like, there are a bunch of 9s down, there's a 9 to the right. It's not taking that much. So yeah, I would have started with it. I feel also, when commenting games, it's so easy to swing into different modes, right? Like, when you're playing, what should you be doing? You should be trying to find the reason your opponent's moves are a mistake, right? Like, what was the flaw? What was the drawback of their move? And so I think I end up sometimes sounding more critical than I intend to be, because the correct way, I believe, for me to try to play my best is going to be looking for their moves to be mistakes, treating them as if their moves aren't best, whether or not they are. And so I think, and then there are games where I've already recorded the video of it, but I haven't put sound on, and I'm recording sound after. And those videos, I can spend time complimenting and explaining the moves and feeling good about them. And then live watching other people's games, I feel like I'm somewhere in between. And I never know where that kind of lands. And I really try to be positive about people's play. Though I am more comfortable being questioning the more I know a player is, confident in their abilities. But I don't really understand. I mean, I get some reasons for this move, but it seems to me there was an easier move to make. So I would have gone for the easier move to make, because I am lazy. Left direction's useful. I have no idea what Seto should do. So, like, that's a very good sign for a move of this type, is I'm not sure where Seto should go. He doesn't have a comfortable way to kind of go next to it. He doesn't have a good card, particularly for the far corner. Like, a lot of stuff is a bit uncomfortable to put there. 9286, I think, almost goes there, but not quite. 4893 has the capture, and I don't see a punish there. If there just was a punish there, nothing else could touch that, and it would be pretty good. So 9286 might be one of the better cards for the late game. Turds and I have been talking a little about, he does pick up 9286. I wonder where it's going. I'm going to guess, like, 2. That's my guess. 6. Alright, similar. But makes the game more side to side. And he does have coverage of 1, which he wouldn't if he had gone in 2. Sorry, of 3, which he wouldn't if he'd gone in 2. So Midas does not have a safe card for 3. Midas can play safely in 9, though notably cannot do so while capturing 6. 6 is actually almost safe against Midas's hand. I didn't realize, like, I was thinking putting it in 3 it was almost safe, but in 6 it actually only has the same kind of weakness to 4893, which can admittedly also take it from 3 as well as 5. So, like, my first candidate move as Midas would be 3499 in 9. And I would expect... that does give up coverage of 3, though, so maybe Seto just goes 3 after that. So if you take safety, you're giving up control of 3. That's interesting. And actually, one of the main reasons to do a far side is to direct the game either up, down, or left, right. And directing the game left, right is very logical from Seto's point of view, because Midas's hand is so many kind of up-down sweepers. The 8-3-8-7, the 8-3-7-8 are very similar cards. 4-8-9-3 is obviously better up-down than it is left-right. 3-4-9-9, a little better left-right, but very marginal. Less so than 4-8-9-3. So 3 out of the 4 cards are better up-down, and 2 of the 4 are pretty neutral, and 2 of them are very much up-down and not side-to-side, and certainly not right-facing. This makes the game facing right, where Midas is a weakness, and it makes the game side-to-side. And it's not obvious Midas has a good way to take advantage of the half safeties, right? It creates two squares with one side facing out, 3 and 9, both of them potentially safe. But it looks like there's probably not a good way to occupy either. 3 is not safe, and 9 concedes 3, and then the position's difficult unless you can finagle 4-8-9-3 to land usefully in 5, which seems possible but unlikely to me. And I'm not playing this game, so I don't have to calculate as much. Moves in 5 are really tough to play. That's setting up the J, but it's really tough to play. You don't have side-to-side sweepers. I think the J will be very dangerous for Midas if he goes for it. The starter was designed to be followed up, I think, with 8, right? Because 8 locks it in, but Seto has set it up so if you go 8, Seto gets 9. And that is a fundamentally powerful kind of response, right? Right? He has organized it so that your best square is met by a good square from me. So Turds and I have been talking about Seto's style, and I don't know how much I'm should be saying his thoughts. But I sort of concluded, this is very much my words, not his, that we think he's basically one of, if not just the clear best calculator around. Just like so rare that he makes, and basically I just don't have him making any late game mistakes on record. I have no mistakes from him after move 4, which is nuts. I have mistakes from me on move 6, right? Mistake not meaning like this wasn't the most pressure, but meaning like turn to win into a tie or a tie into a loss. That of any player I have, Seto has by far the best calculation record of anyone I've looked at. So that's pretty good, right? And then along with that part of the reason he's so good at endgame calculations is he has a very good feel early for which cards he needs to hold on to. So I wonder if the best way to describe him, and this might be totally off the wall, is if he's like a combination of being the ultimate calculator and the ultimate talk to your cards guy. I wonder if that sounds right. That was my sort of thinking on it. Midas. I honestly, I mean, I haven't played a ton with either of these players. I don't have a great feel for their styles. I think Midas tends to prefer dynamic play to power play, which is also my preference. Though clearly starting in 7 rather than 9, a less defensive player than I am. He does go 5. Now, he really needs 4-8-9-3 to be great here. Importantly, it has a serious threat in 3, right? That combo through 6 can run through 5, can run to other squares. So if you're Seto, I think the first thing you look at is blocking 3. So the line that comes to mind for me, I think this is a funny line, is 4-2-9-9 and 3. Induces 3-4-9-9 and 2. Midas leads 6-4. Then you play 3-4-9-9 and 1. That flips 2 and 5. Seto leads 6-4. Midas plays 8-3-8-7 and 4. That flips 1 card back. It's 5-5. And if Seto plays 7-9-4-5 and 8, that walks into the stupidest plus ever with 4-8-9-3 and 9. But he can play 7-8-5-6 and 8, and he wins 6-4. That's the kind of line I would be looking at here. Just saying, I want the game to be side to side, and 3 is the square you can use that might counter my directional advantages with a combo threat, right? And so removing 3 from the game. Seto also, Midas also set himself up for a same in 4. I don't think you have to worry as much about that because you have some control over when you flip 5. Seto has the plus wall in 8, but probably can never use it because both 8387 and 4893 have pluses against it. So unlikely that will actually land, but possible. Can't completely rule it out. But I would think you wanna. The instinct should be block 3. Be what I would think. He has picked up 4299, so I suspect either he's doing something fun. You know, Seto plays in 1 way more than I do in these positions, but Seto also plays fast. Very fast player. I mean, Great Sephiroth has the reputation as like the great 2-minute player, and I think that is right. But if I was betting on anyone else, Seto second, Akiyama third, it's probably the all-time, or maybe something like the all-time hierarchy of 2-minute players. There's probably really fantastic 2-minute players from the start I don't know about. Like, I'm sure Nimloth is fantastic at 2 minutes. I used to be great at 2 minutes. I'm probably not so good anymore, but I used to be very good at it. But I don't think I'd make the top, couple spots. Be a contender, but all right. So we do see 4299 and 3, possibly with a similar line. Now Midas maybe doesn't have to walk into the line I said, right? If he plays 3499 and 2, and Seto plays 3499 and 1, maybe Midas can go 8. But it's hard because he doesn't, if he keeps 8387, he can never recapture 5 from 4. And so Seto just goes in 8. And if he keeps 4893, he can never recapture 5 from 8, so Seto just goes in 4, right? Whichever card he's left with is good at one of 4 and 8, and Seto forces him to go in the other. So I think 3499 and 2 is not the answer. The problem with 3499, though, as your answer in 2, is if you keep it as your sweeper for the upper row, if you play, say, in 4, it can do something in 2, but it can do, like, nothing in 1. Or it can do very little in 1. It could hit 3499, but nothing else. It could hit the mirror. 4893 is your better sweeper up there. What if you played... What if 3499... I want to play too many cards, because if you play 8387 and 4, and keep 4893 for the top row, 3499 on the bottom row can't take 7945, so that's probably a loss. But if you keep 8387 and use 3499, 8387 can't take 7856. That's probably a loss. My instinct is this is just a win for Seto. I think 5 is, a standard square to play in, and I didn't really have good ideas for Midas. But I kind of think 5 just didn't work here. I wonder if the thing to do was block 8, give them 9, and then play in, like, either 2 or 4. Probably 2, with the idea, say they you know, if they block 5, you have 4, 8, 9, 3, and 3. If they block 3, you go 4, 8, 9, 3, and 5. You keep 8, 3, 8, 7, and that will maybe sweep enough to get you a tie. I'm not thinking like exact cards, I'm just thinking sort of structurally. I didn't see a good way to get advantage. The one advantage you have on board is your card in 7. So maybe you lock in the card in 7 and 8. You give up 9, but then you try to make it so 8, 3, 8, 7 sweeps the left. And so you've got to block up the squares 2, 3, and 5. Playing in 2 is often the best way to do that. I don't know if I'm making any sense. That's my idea for Midas on move 3. Go 8. Not sure which card to go 8, but go 8, panic, something like that. Maybe 8, 3, 7, 8. Maybe just the card that's played. It also makes the game a little more down, which can be useful against Seto's hand. You know, Seto's hand is pretty good side to side, not so great down. Yeah. I think 5 has to... I mean, maybe Midas saves it here, but I think 5 is a very dangerous move. And I think 7 was a difficult starter. 6, a great reply. Because I wasn't sure how Seto should pressure off it. It felt like he should have play, but I wasn't sure where. Clearly got good pressure after 6. Yeah. Like after 6, like Midas could play like 8, 3, 7, 8, and 3. But the problem is Seto can just take it 7, 9, 4, 5. And while Midas does plus wall with 4, 8, 9, 3, and 1, that gets plus walls back by 7, 8, 5, 6. There's just a lot of lines of that type where just if you just check the chain of captures, you go, oh, at the end Seto wins. And that's sort of what I was looking at with the move Seto played, 4, 2, 9, 9. Alright, Midas goes 8. Midas has definitely found good moves in 8 in the past. Oh, similar idea. You go 8, they get 9, you play 2, and 8, 3, 8, 7 is your sweeper. Does it work? If so, great save. Great save. So Seto goes 9. Midas goes 2. It's 5, 5. There's no double capture. And 8, 3, 8, 7 does sweep. So I think Seto cannot win in 9. If he goes 2, Midas goes 9 and has 8, 3, 8, 7 to sweep. That's not scary. He does go 2. Seto plays so fast, oh my god. I was thinking like the key if there's a win here has to be in 1 or 4, right? Because you can't allow the up-down sweeper if you're going to win, and you need compensatory threat for 9. But this, I'm sure Seto is correct. Like, I just trust his calculations, so it must just be a tie. Really well found by Midas. Very good move in 8. I think messy starter, messy move in 5, fantastic save in 8. That's how I'd evaluate Midas' play this game. And I said it just plays really good. What can you say? Oh, no, this does work. Does it? Because he has the combo. So he flips 3 cards. I cannot calculate. Yeah, well done Seto. Totally missed this. Yeah, good spotting. I'm not so sharp. Yeah, because Seto has the plus wall in 4, that flips 8 at the end. And so Midas, this only works if Midas could block 8 with something safe to the combo in 5. I had assumed because there was no plus or same in 4 that the combo didn't matter. But of course it does, and Seto is much sharper. Yeah. Oh, poor Midas. Alright. Well, very nicely won by Seto. Looking forward to the Piggy Seto finals. Also looking forward to at some point checking out the games Seto and Midas played on the way here, because I'm sure they were very good. Yeah, I think if 8 didn't work here, Midas was probably busted. The only card safe to 5 was 8-3, 8-7, and that kind of needed to be at least a sweeper threat. Missed how strong 2 was. Again, Seto just much quicker than I am, I think. Like, I find that eventually, but it takes me longer. But maybe he's been keeping more in mind that he has the plus wall in 4 that I sort of forgot about. Yeah, very nicely played by Seto. Bit messy by Midas, but I think difficult hands can be difficult, and playing Seto always makes everything tricky. So, shame I didn't catch the first 4 games. Maybe we'll take a look at them. And congrats to Seto for beating a tough opponent really nicely here. Not only did he find 2, but he found 2 very quickly. Just so good at the endgame calculations, and by the speed he plays them, just, sees it all so quickly. Yeah, how do you beat Seto? He knows what cards to hold on to, and he calculates fantastically. What's the game plan against that? I don't know. Alright, so, yeah, I guess we'll call that a video.